So this just happened. This will 100% harm families. The education department has already been gutted to less than half of what it was at the beginning of this year. It went from 4,000 some to 2,000 some just in the last 7 months. And now they gutted special education. The IDEA was created to protect our most vulnerable students, to ensure that they had access to education. Before IDEA, students who had a physical difference, a learning difference, dyslexia, students who had a cognitive or a behavioral delay, literally could not go to school. Or some were placed in mental institutions just because they learned differently. So to literally fire almost all employees below the administrative leadership level is strategic and intentional. Linda McMahon has stated many times that she wants to protect our most vulnerable, that she will do anything that she can to ensure that special education stays intact. She did also state, though, that more responsibility should be given to the states. But there's a reason why the federal government has oversight of this. It's because the states weren't doing their job. The states weren't following protocol. The states weren't ensuring that students got access to what they needed to be successful. And there's literally no checks or balances to ensure that that money, $15 billion, actually goes to the states. I don't trust that they would ever give that money to the states. So not only did they gut the special education department, they also gutted TRIO. TRIO is a college access program. Y'all, do you not see what is happening?
So they have now fired everybody in the special education department. They've laid them all off. So now kids who have special needs, my wife works with kids with special needs, are not going to get the funding they need. What are we doing? These are our most vulnerable children. Why are we not protecting, this whole administration by covering up these files? We're not protecting our kids. And I feel like that is something that is paramount. That is America first, is protecting our children. So, guys, I think it's time to start ask yourselves as humans, as people, what are we doing here? How far do you want to let one man with little fingers go? Unchecked, ego, lies, hidden behind the Lord. What is going on?
That's a very good question, because honestly, at this point, I really do not know. Hey, beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So all credit goes to the creators in these videos. And guys, in today's video, so the US government is still shut down. And I'm sure by now we all know what happened. They couldn't agree on a new budget. The Congress could not agree on the new budget and all of that. And when that happened, right, thousands of government workers were sent home. But now the biggest shock that I'm seeing now is that from the Department of Education, we all know that from the Department of Education, so many things have been going on. But now these cuts have hit the Office of the Special Education and Rehabilitative Services. Now, this is the team that protects and supports children with disabilities, right, under the law called the IDEA. That's the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. Now, this law promises that every child with a disability has the right to a free and appropriate education, because no matter where they live or how severe their needs are, they will be protected, guys. Now, you are telling me that because of these layoffs, this vital office is almost empty, like more than half of their staffs have been laid off, guys. And only a few people, according to the research I made, only a few people are left to run that program that serves millions and millions of kids, guys. This cut is going to have real consequences. Let's see what the other creators have to say, and I'll see you soon.
Yesterday, the Trump administration fired almost an entire department of people in the federal government, and it wasn't a Democratic-run program like he said it was going to be. They fired almost everybody at the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services, and if you don't know what they actually do within the government, they're responsible for allocating funds to schools, education services all around the United States for children so that they can get an equal education. This department specifically gives out federal funds for the Individuals with Disabilities Act and serves approximately 8 million kids a year, whether it be public schools, private schools, or kids that are just K through 12. There are around 200 employees that work there or did work there because they say nearly everybody was fired yesterday. And Republicans have done nothing but say autism, we're trying to figure out autism, and yet they're playing straight in our faces, just like a lot of people said they would. Again, this is not a Democratic-run program. This is a program that federal funds are allocated to every single year to help any child that has a disability so that they can get a fair education. This shutdown is not about Democrat, Republican, their problems, the non-negotiating. The shutdown is specifically about shutting the government down and cutting programs left and right, even if it doesn't benefit the American people, just so that they can fill their pockets. That's it.
Last night, the Department of Education laid off almost every single staff member at the Office of Special Education. These staffers are the people that are responsible for distributing the funding for the IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, okay? I am sick of getting on this app and saying I told you so, but I have been screaming I told you so since November. I have been telling people I am scared for my disabled child, okay? And I'm telling you guys all that you should be scared for you or your disabled loved ones, okay? This country is practicing eugenics. This will immediately affect children in public education in the United States. This will immediately affect some of the most vulnerable Americans from the party that claims to care about children. They are cutting staffers whose job is to enforce and distribute funds for IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act. What y'all told me was safe. What y'all have been screaming from the rooftops. Anna, you're exaggerating. Anna, your child's fine. Anna, we don't have to worry. We have to worry. This is insane. Our children are in danger. This government is not looking out for them. I told you so.
Like, sometimes I really do not understand the administration and the things that the administration, the US government, the things that they prioritize over, the important things that they prioritize over the other. Like, sometimes I really do not get it, because this action will have real consequences. Now, looking at the less enforcement for the IDEA, with almost no staff left, the federal government cannot check properly if the states and the schools are following the law. Because if a student is denied service, right, there is almost no one left to investigate, and there will be delays in funding because billions of dollars in special education grants may be delayed, and the schools may not even get the money they need for the teachers, for the aides, or for the speech therapists. And looking at these effects on the families, right, parents that used to call the department for help, report violations, may now not get an answer. And look at how the children's rights will be left hanging. And the people that were laid off were experts, right? People that spent years and years and years of their lives helping schools, helping families. Losing them means losing the knowledge that cannot be replaced overnight. And look at the consequence of this on the people that have been laid off. Okay, overnight they are just left without a paycheck. Overnight they are just left without a source of income. Guys, I feel that this issue is not just a funding issue, it's a human issue, because the government should not just stop protecting children with disabilities. I mean, this promise that the government made through IDEA is a promise of equality, is a promise of fairness, is a promise of hope. But I mean, the Department of Education has been threatened from the start, from this present administration. So I guess all those that voted for this saw it coming. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's see what these other creators have to say.
You want to know what they're cutting now? Special education. The office that protects kids with disabilities. Gone. The Department of Education's Office of Special Education Programs, the one responsible for making sure children with autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, and other disabilities get the help that they need. They just had massive layoffs. These aren't just desk jobs. These are the people who enforce the law that guarantees every disabled child a free and appropriate public education. They handle the funding, the compliance, The oversight, the lifeline for parents already fighting an uphill battle every single day. And now, most of them are out of a job. Officials are saying that states can manage it themselves. Really? Most states are barely hanging on now. What happens when those funds stop flowing? When the aides, the speech therapists, and the adaptive tech all disappear because nobody's left to process the grants? You can't call yourself pro-family and then pull support from the kids who need it the most. You can't say you're protecting American families while you're actively destroying the one program that protects the most vulnerable. This isn't cutting red tape. It's cutting the safety net. Parents shouldn't have to beg for their kids to get what the law already promised them. This is serious.
Not enough people are talking about this, and it breaks my heart. The U.S. Department of Education laid off nearly everyone in the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitation Services. These are the people who protect the rights of children with disabilities. They make sure a child with autism gets a classroom aid. They ensure deaf students have access to interpreters. They fight for children with all sorts of disabilities don't get pushed aside. And now they're gone. They're wiped out in the name of efficiency. The administration called it cutting waste. These aren't bureaucrats. These are the voices for children who can't speak up for themselves. Waste is the cruelty of pretending that kids with disabilities don't matter. The audacity to strip away the only federal oversight that keeps schools accountable to the law. It is heartless and shameful. But what's new with this administration? Parents are terrified, wondering who's going to help them now. Teachers are already exhausted, and now they're going to have to fill in the gaps. And kids who've worked twice as hard to keep up, they'll pay the price for decisions by people who'll never meet them, never see their faces, and never care. What these people are doing isn't finding waste. This isn't efficiency. This isn't even politics anymore. This is just plain cruelty. If we can't stand up for children with disability, what kind of country are we?
I mean, and that's on period, right? Because when you say you are trying to include people, you are trying not to make them feel different. And the very actions that you are taking is the exact opposite of what you are saying. Because no matter how we look at it, every child matter. And during this shutdown, children with disabilities, it looks as if they are being treated as if they don't. When these offices close, when the experts are fired, they have been fired, these children will lose their support, they will lose their voice, and the chance to thrive will drop drastically. And this moment, guys, I think America should just wake up, because we cannot say that we care about equal education, right, while the very office that enforces it is being dismantled. Guys, this is the life of millions of families on the line. Because if we let the shutdown silence this special education office, the lives and the futures of the children that depend on it is also silenced. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe during this lockdown, or shutdown, as we call it. Mental health is important. Ciao.